Welcome back to Everything Fraser Coast. I'm Jussy Lindeberg, your amazing host.
And again, we'll stop that one there.
And of course, I'm joined with my lovely Lee. How you going, Lee?
Good, how are you?
And today we're finding ourselves, I can't even speak properly, and I haven't even had a glass of wine this morning. No, just kidding. No, I really haven't had a glass of wine. We're sitting in the conference room at the Hervey Bay Neighbourhood Centre, and I'm joined with Alicia Wade.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful friend. And we've also got Jill. I don't know your last name, Jill.
Stevenson.
And Jill, what's your role here?
I am the business manager. I don't like that word though. For Community Cubed and the Wandering Teapot. So it's our social enterprise division.
Fantastic. Okay, so our roles have been flipped
And we've
today.
been there.
And we're podcasting you today.
I know we've been invited here to do a podcast, but we're being podcasted. So
You're the vote.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
I've got that sudden sweaty feeling in my palms.
Oh,
now
really?
You're at the other end.
Yeah, now I'm
Nervous
the.
now.
I've got a wee.
I don't know what's coming my way. Is this what people feel like when we bombard them?
Yeah,
All right.
Probably. Probably.
All right, Alicia, why are we here? Jill, why are we here?
I'll let Alicia take this one. Yeah.
So, we have started our own little podcasting. So, I wanted to say thank you for inspiring me, because you inspire me
Fantastic.
all the time with what you do out in the community. And what we are visioning for our community is actually helping and assisting our entrepreneurs in the
Great.
town, getting them out there. And I know that you do a lot of stuff with the businesses, so I thought, what better way than to get you two involved with this and getting it out there. And I
Fantastic.
thought we could interview you. So everybody here knows what you're doing. Tell me a bit about what you do.
Okay, well, Lee, do you mind if I take this one?
Take the role.
Well, we started this journey with absolutely no expectations. This started first week in February, really, with our podcast, Everything Fraser Coast. But we just wanted to look for anything positive in the Fraser Coast region, and it's just naturally evolved, what it would say, organically evolved, that we now pretty much look for anyone or people fall in our lap that are inspirational. It could be an individual that's just doing something as part of their everyday life. They might be supporting some charity or doing something that we find extraordinary. We have a chat to them, or it could be someone in a small business. We do tend to like small businesses that are just maybe don't have the budget for marketing, and we find that those businesses are very welcoming to have us on board and talk to them. Or it could be local events or charities, anyone really. We'll talk to anyone, won't we, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, in a nutshell, what we do
I'm new to the area, I need friends.
is
Put it that way.
What a great way to make friends.
if you wanted I do tend to give a long-winded answer. In a short nutshell, I guess we promote anything positive, because we are Everything Fraser Coast, that's happening in the region.
Awesome.
And building connections too.
Well, we are through that.
Yeah.
We are getting a very
really
big
powerful
network.
thing in small communities.
Yeah.
It's
So
some good work. I love what you guys are doing.
thank you.
I must tune in now.
Yeah, well, look, just putting it out there, we don't get paid, but we are always open for sponsorships, Jeep, Mercedes, Bentley.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping Hugh Jackman would come and do our next podcast, but you know.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
invited
Shout
Boy
out to
George.
Hugh Jackman. We love your work.
And Boy George.
And Boy George.
Oh, yeah,
George.
Love Boy George.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, just anyone with big biceps I'd be happy with.
Excellent.
A note to everybody, I'm still single, so just putting it out there.
Well, we'll finish on something. I've got a proposal for you there on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
So just before we go any further, the podcast that you're running is Everything Fraser Coast.
Yeah, so
Excellent. And
you
where
find
can we find the podcast?
find us on Facebook, and we've got our YouTube channel, both called Everything Fraser. Our group, it's a group on Facebook, not a business. We aren't a business at all. We're not a registered organisation. We just come up with those 3 words because it's catchy, it's memorable, and it basically, in a nutshell, tells you what we do.
Excellent.
So
Yeah. So, my next question, how did this all occur?
well, I had this dream And Hugh Jackman was in my dream.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
That started off so well. I love it.
No, I got MS and had different symptoms over the years. Lost my vision on Australia Day. Took 4 days to go. Was then completely blind. I've got a bit of contrast back now. And life changed very quickly. And sitting in the hotel room, the hospital room, could not work out how I was going to function, do anything. Came home, my daughter said, "Mum, listen to this podcast." And I went, "What's a podcast?" And I was hooked. And Lee started with me as a support worker on the following 2 days later on the Monday. And I said to Lee, "Do you think we could have a go at doing this?" And we did it around the kitchen table, had a chat into the iPhone, and then we're on the journey on how do we make this a thing.
Awesome.
So you've obviously only recently lost your eyesight the last few months, has it been? Or?
Australia Day this year.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you did say that.
I walked
Yes,
through
I was
Botanic
listening
Gardens.
intently, yes.
Totally I was calmer. I took my dog.
Yeah.
She was in a backpack, a canine sack.
Yeah.
And I did a selfie with the sign that said "No dogs allowed,"
Bum,
and I'm
bum.
going. And that was it.
It put
Karma
you in the
gods.
bum.
Karma gods went. You took your dog in a no dog zone. We're going to take your eyesight.
Wow. All right.
You got nothing. You got nothing to add to that, have you?
I am just, yeah, but it's amazing to see you've obviously just, taken it full by the horns and went, bugger it, I don't need my eyes, so I'm just going to do something
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I'd be lying if I wouldn't trade it all to get it
Yeah.
back again. But from losing eyesight, it's amazing your other senses that pick up. And interestingly, I actually think I've always had a great relationship with my kids, but I think it's a better relationship because now the time on technology is so minimalised, so we talk a lot more.
Yep.
So, which I didn't realise we didn't do as much, but now we do a lot more, and that's a big bonus.
That's great.
I wouldn't trade that for anything.
That's a big positive,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Awesome. So my next question, and thank you for sharing that. What's the best part about being connected to the community?
The people. Yeah, you actually fall in love again with where you live. Like I already loved where I live, it's why I moved here. But I fall in love with this town, this region, including Maryborough here, the greater region. Every time Lee and I go out and we talk to someone, always come home feeling very much
Empowered.
Yeah, it's just the word I'm trying to, I can't think of it. It's empowered, invigorated from where I live. So yeah, so many beautiful people live here.
I know, and I saw the other day that you went to the op shop.
Yesterday,
Yes,
or the day
yesterday.
before, a couple of
Yeah.
days ago.
And that looked so cool.
It was amazing.
Oh, we love op shops, thrift shops.
Yes, I know. How much did you guys spend this
I
time?
didn't spend a cent.
I spent, but we've just come from a thrift shop. I spent $5.
Oh my gosh!
Big
but
sale.
how many?
Big
How
sale
many
today.
items did you
I
get?
I love it. I love it when there's a 50% off in an op shop.
So just quickly, obviously, Lily, you're the support worker, but you
Yeah.
obviously moved here. Did you guys have a friendship before you moved, or like?
I was working new in town. I've always worked in administration all my life. Couldn't get a job, so I got a job with Jim's Cleaning, and that's how I met Justine. And we just
We click straight
bonded,
away.
like straight away, like talk about anything. And then I got a phone call that Justine had lost her sight, and they wanted. Oh, I don't know if it was Justine.
That
wanted
was me. I particularly targeted you, Lee. Sorry.
Wanted Charlie
To a good
myself.
podcast.
I actually asked Lee because I've got MS, so I already always knew that it was on the cards that I'd need some support, and it was just a coincidence. Call it a guardian angel or sixth sense, something. I asked Lee 1 week exactly before I lost my sight if I needed a support worker. Do you think you would be open to coming and giving me support?
Yeah.
Not yet. Sometime in the future, maybe a long way down the track, and it was basically 1 week later she was supporting me.
Excellent. So now it's a dynamic duo.
We are
Yes.
joined at the hip.
And we've had a lot of help from Alicia
Excellent.
with the technology
Yes.
side, because I was dumb as dogs.
Lee's had a very big learning.
I've got it on my Samsung, and I'm so comfortable with that. And everyone's got iPhones. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Alicia, I can't help it.
Lee's had an education in a lot of areas, I must say. She's been to the school of Justine.
Yes. It's been an awesome...
She's graduated with honours, both.
All right, so with all of this work going on, how has this raised awareness with those around in the community? What impact has that made?
On what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I know, broad questions.
Do you know,
Lee, you answer that one.
I think, from what I see, because Justine can't see the facial expressions really of what people are giving when we're introducing ourselves. At first, they're like, but by the end of it, they're laughing with us and having an absolute hoot, as you could hear in our podcast. We're always laughing, being silly. So I think we're putting the positive out as well, that, you know, there are people in the community that are here doing this for free, promoting your business.
Yeah, they
for
think
free.
there's a catch.
At first they think, oh my gosh, you know, they're going to get us.
Because no one does stuff for free.
We have bumped into people that we've spoken to, done podcasts with, or just spoken to, like the lady in Coles we're talking about this morning.
She somehow remembers us.
It. Like, you know what I mean? So we're obviously a positive thing, you know, we're doing it for a good.
Can I just point out that until you just said it though, that I didn't realise there was ever any hesitation, because I just bulldozed our way in, and before they know it, Melissa, our microphone's whipped out, and they kind of, who's going to say no to a chick holding a blind stick, honestly? Well, we've had one person, but that's okay. People can say no.
We're busy, they don't have time.
So I just noticed there was a point there. So obviously you've started the podcast and you're saying like it's free. Would you like to see at some point like you get some sponsorship or support with what it is you're trying to do? Jeep?
Well, when we very first launched, we had David Reed Holmes, Chris Cave Electrical, and Aaron's Floccaccini's contract slashing and mowing. They chipped in and they got us our shirts and were supportive in helping promoters and that sort of thing, and are still wonderful supports. But we haven't gained from it in any monetary way. And I think we would be foolish to say, look, if someone came knocking on our door and said, hey, would you like a regular radio spot or something like that? Would you like to be the Hamish and Andy of Fraser Coast? Come on, Lee. We'd have to consider it. But it's not our motivation, if that makes sense.
You're just having fun in the meantime.
There's a kind of a nice flip side to doing it the way we are, where we don't have any pressure. And we have total control on what we put on our, like as we keep it positive. We can get a little bit rude if we want to, but we do try and keep it PG.
Yeah.
But we can be cheeky and fun. And we are very sensitive to, you know, we're remembering that we're portraying that business. We don't want to portray that person in any way that could cause them any trouble down the track or we want them to support us. We want them to support us. So we want to be fun, but we don't want to be too unprofessional.
It is an interesting concept, though. I mean, you look at, you know, there's obviously a lot of contention around things like Facebook and Instagram. You know, they start out free and then they become successful and famous, and people are like, oh, we need this in our lives, and then all of a sudden we have to pay for it. I mean, I think as a small business owner, you know, when you've got those support mechanisms around you, sometimes investing in them, you know, whether it be through a sponsorship or support, because obviously what it is you're doing is quite powerful. You know, I think that's a very positive.
I've got my part-time job, and Lee's employed to work with me, and so no, honestly, we like it the way it is.
We don't have the answer to anybody. We can, like, I'll continue up tomorrow morning and Joss will go, and let's go down to Enzo's and have a coffee, and next minute we'll do a podcast.
And on that, we pay our own way.
Yeah.
So
hey, I think you should at least get a free coffee.
I think
Come on, Enzo's.
I would say
I have it at Cara Gardens. Thanks, Russell.
Russell's given us a coffee. I should.
Excellent.
And the snakes down under, when we rang Ian and went up and held Trevor the snake, he didn't charge us to go in just to hold the snake. So we do, but other than that, we 100% pay our own way, and we don't expect. They're a small business, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
That's why.
You guys are doing some amazing stuff too, getting the word out there.
But we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like some people go and play pokies, Or some people smoke, whatever. Well, this is what we do.
Podcast.
We podcast. So it's,
Sorry, Alicia, I was taking away.
No, that's awesome because we get more insights into what you do and see what's going on in your brain. So
don't go too far into my brain.
So it brings me to my next question. So what advice could you give to those wanting to start a new idea or project like yourself?
Oh.
Do it.
Well, yeah, if it's, I guess if it's the way that we can only talk from our experience, which was we are not motivated. This isn't it's very different if you're putting the pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And I've done that before where you have a small business and you have goals where you're saying, well, within 2 years I want to be financially running my business and that sort of thing. Because that hasn't been what we're doing, we just went, okay, well, how can we do this and how can we do this at no cost? Because at the beginning, and then we bought Melissa the microphone, so I bought that. But other than that, the costs really have been very minimal. So they probably haven't answered your question.
I would say just do it and have fun. That's what I get.
Just do it.
Probably what I would take out of that is look into everything you can do for yourself to promote yourself for free before you start costing money, because there's actually a lot you can do that doesn't cost any, and that is regardless of if you talk to us or not.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So
that's great.
What's a phone call? You know,
Don't be afraid to ask. That's
right. Ask,
yeah.
talk to people.
I try and tell a lot of our startups and that. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, if you see something you like, you know, ask that person who did that for you, or how do I get my hands on that? Or whatever.
And there are little Facebook groups locally, because I've joined a few of them, which are like I think it's called Fraser Coast Small Business and that sort of thing. Like I don't know if there's an ulterior motive down the track for those groups, but I think it's all about networking. And you can network in that group for free. It doesn't, you have to join a membership of anything and then pay. But I also find the general feeling I get from everyone, it's quite open, that we've spoken to, bearing in mind that we do stick with small business and very local focus, is everybody is helpful for everybody. So I think if I had a small business and I went in and spoke to, say, Craig at Rude Awakenings or Russell at Akara Gardens or Matt at the Front Room and said, hey, this is what I'm looking at starting. Have you got any thoughts? Or I've started this. Do you know, I can't imagine those people not being positive and supportive. I really can't. It's just not in their nature. That's the feeling I get.
I resonate with that as well, especially with my journey and where I'm heading now. So, and meeting up with Jill. So just asking and getting and
have the confidence. You've got to have 100% belief in what you're doing too. Don't be thinking, oh, maybe this will work. You've got to know this is what you want to do, and then everything else will fall into line. That's, don't have 3 ideas and go, well, I'll try this, and if this doesn't work, then I'm going to do that.
Exactly right.
Having said that, I haven't got any Fortune 500 business under my belt, so don't take my advice.
Not yet, anyway.
No, I don't have that as a bucket list goal.
Oh, I love hearing your stories. It's just amazing. So I thought I'd bring the funniness to it because we've asked you quite serious questions.
Oh, okay.
So what's the funniest thing you have done so far?
In the podcast world? Oh, look, I think the fire station.
Oh,
So,
there was no one there.
No, he wouldn't let us in.
No.
He really,
Nice.
he was senior. He was in a uniform. He wouldn't open the door more than a smidge, like I'm saying, like a finger to go through, and he was talking through the door. But we got in. He opened the door and pulled us in and took a photo of me with the fire truck, which I'm probably not allowed to say because I'm not allowed to do it. And, I have got on my bucket list to do this Feel a Firefighter calendar. And anyways, I've got the calendar at home to mock up, but we've just been busy doing other stuff and it's not forgotten. It's just been put to the side. So at this stage, through this journey, we've got about 10 of the 12 months filled for who wants to model for us. And we've got people in small business, they're generally business people, who are working out ready for their camera shoot. But so my Feel a Firefighter calendar has been a little personal journey, which I can't wait to present it to Queensland Fire. I'll hopefully end up on the project. That'd be amazing. That's a bucket list thing. I want to be on the project. And maybe with the firefighter calendar, you've got to think about it as a feel a firefighter. It's not a visual.
You can't see it.
It's one for everyone. It's inclusive for people that have no vision. So you feel.
And so if you could get this project up and running, like what's obviously the money going to go towards?
The fire.
The firing?
Yeah.
And maybe
it's
like
just another
MS
edition.
Institute or...
No,
fireys? Okay,
yeah, no,
cool.
this was all for just giving them a new...
So you're on every page feeling up a firefighter.
You feel it. You feel the...
No, you could put like a little bit of...
the cowboy, he's got little...
a little abs, a little bit of...
Yeah, we're going to use my...
Great project.
Look, I'm not very big on scrapbooking, but I was going to try and put some artistic flair into how to make it. It'd have to come in a box, right? It's not going to be a flat calendar.
It can't be flat.
It's got to be tactile and... You know, and look, this is an opportunity also for those firefighters that maybe aren't as photogenic, but they got the bod. So they can be in the Feel a Firefighter calendar because, you know what, everyone's pretty hot if they've got the right shoulders.
And who's been the best month so far?
Oh, I can't say that.
Okay,
I
then.
can't because I don't want to upset anyone.
Okay, all
Got to
right.
be across, got to be
What
fair.
feels good? May, October.
Look.
I always say December.
Well, we'll have to put a photo of what Lee just did. And she said December.
Oh, hilarious. So, what has been the most rewarding thing about what you do?
Well, look, the most rewarding, I'd have to say it's meeting the people.
Yep.
And from a personal thing, like I never had a depressing slump of losing my sight. So having the fun with Lee, it'd be the people in general, definitely the centre of my heart, and just like I'll never forget the time that we're having with this podcast. It's been amazing. And it's still going. We're not saying goodbye.
Yeah.
No, because all you listeners out there, you have to come on and like our page.
Follow us.
Follow our page because once we get to 1,000 followers, Miss Alicia and Jill's coming skydiving with us.
Oh.
Jill, it's nude skydiving.
And it's nude.
Nude. I've never done it. Oh my goodness.
Have you never done it nude? Oh, let's
I've never skydived in just full stop. Okay. And I feel like you're going to pick on me when we do it because I have to actually leave. I'm sorry. I have a date with a firefighter.
Just feel his shoulders for me.
But I have had a great time listening on this, and I'm so sorry I have to dash off.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I
you.
will
It's
definitely
lovely
start
meeting
listening
you.
to
Yeah.
Everything Fraser
Thanks,
Coast. I
Jill.
feel like I'll be on my headphones all night tonight.
Yeah.
How many episodes do I need to listen to?
What are we up to?
23 was the one I posted last night.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
I'll
give
get
you
listening.
a couple of our little cards there,
Excellent.
Jill.
No
Please.
worries. And we'll pop these
give
up in
them-
the community cubed as
Oh,
well. And
yeah,
let people know.
we'll give
'cause
them to-
obviously a lot of great businesses there, and I think we'll get you them in
I don't
touch
know.
with
Do
you
you want
guys
more?
as well. I'll grab a stash. So,
Okay, that's
yeah.
wonderful. Well,
Anyway, I'll let
I've
you
got
guys
to
continue.
invite. Have you got another question for me?
Yeah, I've
Oh.
just got 3 questions. That's it, and then we're nearly done. So, because you were talking about 1,000 people on your Facebook page,
Yeah.
what is your goal number of people that you want to reach to and connect with?
Oh, see you, Jill.
Unlimited.
See you, Jill.
Unlimited. Bye, Don. Unlimited.
No, well, look, we didn't have.
Why would you put a limit on people that want to
Good
like
on
you
you.
and follow you?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, unlimited.
No, but
Excellent.
But what I do know is that, and I guess this is saying for people in business too, when you've got a Facebook page, just because you've got so many followers, that's just a number of, people who have committed to connect with you on a regular basis. I know for a fact that the people that listen to our podcast would be 10 times that number. And I know that because of what I hear and the messages that I get back, that someone's heard, and I'll go in and I'll think, well, there's no record of that person. So they can listen to our podcast through YouTube, which has a counter. But when people share through Facebook, it gets diluted on who's actually listening to you. So the only way we would get a count on that which is accurate is if we were to transfer across to, say, like iTunes or Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's on the cards, but not yet. Like
Awesome.
I said, we're doing what we can do for free.
That's right. That's right.
And it's
Awesome.
working.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. And so we're coming up to the end of this. So is there anything else that you would like to share with our community and our entrepreneurs out there?
Oh, share. Well, hook up with us, please. If you're involved with anything, you're doing something that's different, you may not even think it's interesting. I sat down and had a coffee with someone the other week, and when we were and I said, oh, maybe I could do a podcast with you. I won't say who it is. I don't want to embarrass them yet. And actually, we don't embarrass. It's one of our rules. We will make sure that we'll embarrass ourselves, and we'll gauge how far we can push it with people. Sometimes we might go too far. Anyway, sorry for that. But and just having a chat over a coffee, and then I'll just go, that's something we can podcast about. It's so interesting, but you forget what you're doing that is interesting for others. So yeah, but that's, yeah.
Just in a nutshell.
In a nutshell,
Yeah.
just connect with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Jussy and Lee at Everything Fraser Coast.
Yes, so thank you, Justine and Lee. It's always a pleasure catching up with you
Thanks,
guys, as
Alicia.
always.
Thank you.
And
So-
surprise, roles reversal this time.
So what's your podcast
I
called?
thought you were going to say
So
surprise you're married.
We are called Outside the Cube. So yeah, because of Community Cube, and we're now doing podcasts outside Community Cube.
Fantastic.
So yeah. So that brings
very
us
good.
to ending. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, anytime.
Awesome.
So how's the manhunt going, Alicia?
Oh. What manhunt?
I'll see you, let's see you.
Okay. Oh, bye for now.